My brother asked me to give his wife another chance after she tried to feed my allergic son peanuts, then said, "Well, did anything happen to your son?" When I told him how close he came to losing a nephew, he just sighed and said, "You're making this a bigger deal than it is." I stayed silent. That was 4 months ago. This morning, he was standing outside my apartment with his baby in one arm and no place to go. I am probably one of the only people in the world who can say that I love my brother and his pregnant wife, Laura. They were on speakerphone when they called asking to stay over for a week, and my kids immediately started clapping their hands. "Please say yes, Mommy." I had no idea she was planning on unaliving my son, so I smiled and told them to come over whenever. Everything was smooth sailing, until Laura came home with groceries, cookies, crackers, cake fusion, all filled with peanuts. It immediately made my skin crawl. You see, my oldest son is extremely allergic, like can't breathe, vomiting, life-threatening allergic. And we learned that the hard way a few years back, when we almost lost him. Oh, thanks. But my son is extremely allergic and I'm not too comfortable with having this stuff in the house. But instead of apologizing or immediately throwing them away, she just said she wouldn't eat it around him because she was having intense, gnawing pregnancy cravings that she needed to satiate. I wanted to scream, but instead I settled for making sure my son knew not to touch any of it. And that was that, until a week later. I woke up early to make breakfast for the entire house. But as I opened the fridge, I felt the blood drain from my face, because sitting right there on the second shelf was a plate of strawberries dipped in peanut butter left out without a container. And as my eyes jolted to the left, I spotted sandwiches that were practically drenched in peanut butter too. I was seething. This wasn't just my home, it was my son's too. So without hesitation, I grabbed a bin bag to throw everything into and got ready to donate it to a homeless shelter. Laura walked into the kitchen as soon as I got ready to walk out. "What the F do you think you're doing with my food?" I bluntly told her to shut the F up, because my son's life was worth endlessly more than any craving she could ever have. She didn't have a response right away, so I took the opportunity to leave and call my brother. "Well, did anything happen to your son?" he asked slowly, like I was too dumb to understand. I just hung up and called my husband, who was thankfully even angrier than me. When I got home, my house was filled with almost every member of my family. My mom, my stepdad, my brother, Laura, my husband, and even my aunt. I guess she figured my mom would take her side, but when I arrived, everyone was giving out to her. Even my brother was trying to get her to understand. It ended with my brother and Laura packing up their stuff, and him apologizing on her behalf. After that, I was pretty much ready to never have anything to do with her ever again. But my brother had other plans, because almost every day he was texting and leaving voicemails about how inconsolable she is, about how I owed her a second chance. I didn't trust myself to speak calmly, so instead my husband contacted him and told him to F off. Well, kinda. He told him I had cleaned the entire house and almost had an anxiety attack. They shut up after that. And to avoid being rude, when I had finally calmed down, I texted them too. I simply informed them that we'll be going low contact until we feel ready to be around them again. My message was left unread, and life fell back into routine again. And I made sure to vet anyone and everyone that came over. I still regret picking up the phone when Laura called a few weeks later, but curiosity got the better of me. She was choking on sobs, apologizing for what she'd done. By the end of it, I actually felt like we could work on our relationship. She also mentioned that she would still like for my family and I to come to her birthday dinner. It wasn't going to happen in a restaurant anymore, and that it was going to be at their house instead. My husband left the choice to me. Well, she had never acted like that before, and I know what pregnancy hormones are like, so I believed her. Fast forward to the big day. "Where are your kids?" was the first thing she asked. I ignored the sharpness of her tone and simply told her that it's just us